Welcome to the Brickyard. Indianapolis Motor Speedway is the home of tonight's event, the iRacing Virtual Cup Series Qualifier Series. I'm Justin Boyles, and in the booth with me tonight is Dennis Ansman. Dennis, how are you, buddy?
Doing fantastic here tonight. I'm looking forward to see what kind of show these guys put on here.
And if it's anything like last week's race, it should be quite interesting, as it was Jeff Marble coming out with the win last week, and then his son Tyler Marble, who qualified for the Cup Series race by finishing in the top 5 in last week's Q race. He came out and shocked everybody in the Cup Series with the win and won all 3 stages. So it'll be interesting to see if these Marble guys can continue to keep their winning ways going here at the Brickyard. And we take a look at the race facts as these guys get ready to qualify. We are at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, back-to-back uniquely shaped tracks. Last week, the Tricky Triangle with 3 turns, and tricky indeed it was. That was the race that we saw the most cautions for this series so far. I believe they had 3 or 4 cautions last week. Series that's been relatively clean, but those guys definitely had trouble conquering the Tricky Triangle. And tonight, Dennis, all 4 corners are essentially the same, and they all are what turn 2 last week at Pocono is modeled after. How well do you think these guys, maybe if you had a good set last week that was really good in turn 2, do you think that set can transfer over tonight?
Parts of it. I won't say the whole set can transfer because I actually went out today and tried, and it didn't work out too well for me. But yeah, there are parts of that setup that can transfer over to this track. Everybody was racing that last week. I mean, you want that car to just be, you want it loose, but you don't want it uncontrolled loose. So that's going to be tonight. Who's going to be the one that can get that car, get that right rear just hanging out a little bit, but yet control.
Yeah, it sounds like we've got a K9 on the racetrack somewhere, Dennis.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, K9. Hopefully, race control will get out there and take care of that here before they go green.
I hear you, man. So right now I am on the 21 car of Daniel Dow, and I wanted to follow him around. I'm not sure if he's on his second lap here, but you see right here, he is coming off of turn 4 down the front stretch, the very long straightaways, and you see the sun is out over there on that side of the track. But watch down here as he gets down here into turn 1, nothing but shade, and that is really going to affect how these guys drive. Now, I know personally for me, in the bit of racing that I've been doing this week, I got to run one of the NIS Opens, the full-length Brickyard 400 last night, and I had a whole lot of trouble in turn 1 and 2. Car was incredibly loose. So if I had the shade anywhere on the track, I would definitely be over in turn 1 and 2. But you see now it seems to be shifting, and so now it's looking to be shady over here in 3. So the weather going to play a huge part. It's 84 degrees. Humidity is at 73%, so track could be very slick. Moderate cloud cover tonight, and obviously, like we said, that can play a role in a 9-mile-an-hour wind. And the track temp right now is sitting at 95, a much cooler track than what we expect tomorrow night in our race, Dennis. But with the high speeds and how quickly got to get into the corner, carry your speed through the corner, and get off smoothly. Honestly, I don't think that a track temp can save you. You've got to have that car underneath you regardless.
Oh yeah, and the key is to have your car set up neutral for the sun and sky, which is tricky in itself. I mean, you got to play, you got to play the factor. What do you expect more cloud cover, more sun, and that's how you got to have your car set up, because obviously you got more sun on the track, it's going to loosen that car up a whole lot more.
Yeah, and I know we saw some guys come on late last week in our race at Pocono. I know Joshua Witherspoon had a car that was great towards the end of the race. So it's these guys, unlike real life where kind of don't know what the weather's going to do, you can load up a session and you can simulate this stuff and see, how the weather's going to change. And so you typically you see the guys who are up front, the guys who compete for wins, they do that. They take the time to do that, and they know exactly what the car is going to do, what the track temperature is going to do, and they're able to kind of prepare for that. But you could have a wrench thrown in the plans if the sun comes out and stays out, and you didn't expect that. Then you may have issues with the car being loose, and but being open setups, obviously you can influence that and change that. With different spring adjustments and things like that. But Dennis, looking at tonight's race, and last week was the first week that the top 5 was able to run in the Cup Series, and obviously one of those guys, Tyler Marble, stole the win and a lot of stage points from the Cup Series guys. Do you expect these guys to drive a little bit harder, knowing that they have that opportunity to come show what they're made of on Friday night?
Oh yeah, definitely. You have an opportunity to go in and race for tomorrow night at the same exact track. These guys have a big opportunity ahead of them, and I know that every single one of them take it as an honor to even have that option to you finish in the top 5. You race tomorrow night.
Yeah, and there's a lot of you know differences that we're going to see with the weather and the track conditions tonight tomorrow. But anytime you can get race laps on a track, the real thing that can help prepare you, obviously, for the next race if you race tomorrow. So there's a lot of talent in this series. Seen that without a doubt. I know Tyler and Jeffrey Marble, we talked about them a lot, but even some other guys like that 6 car of Daniel Bowler, who's right now sitting in second position. He laid down his qualifying lap. We've seen Nick Ramsey get up there and battle. Jeremy Morrison has a win in this series. It really just top to bottom. I think there's not a single person in this series that can't go out and compete or win, and that right there is just that's going to make this series so interesting to watch, and going to make this race so interesting to watch.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you were talking about those top 5 that raced with us last week. All 5 of those guys were hard racers, respectful. I loved racing with all 5 of them. I was around every single one of them at one point during the race because I started way in the back. So I am definitely looking forward to seeing what these guys put on here for us here tonight, and I'm expecting it to be a really, really great show.
Yeah, absolutely. I know I got to spend some time around those guys as well last week, and like you said, I'll second that thought. I really enjoyed racing, particularly 48 car of Tyler Marble, and he was obviously he was on a different level last week, and really fun to race against him. So we know that the talent's there. We know that these guys, a lot of these guys, are going to be names that you're going to hear next season in the iRacing Virtual Cup Series, which you can tune into on Friday nights. Tomorrow night we'll be racing at the Brickyard on Max Speed TV. So before we get started here in this race, if you want to close the stream down real quick, I'll run over to Max Speed TV on YouTube, give them a subscribe, follow them, definitely turn on notifications for that channel so you can be prepared to watch that race tomorrow night. And you can go to facebook.com/iRacing Virtual Cup Series and give the Facebook page a like, and keep up with everything that's going on in the iVCS as we are ticking down to about a minute and a half left in qualifying. Dennis, we haven't done this yet in the races that we've streamed up to this point, but we're going to do it tonight. We're going to make picks. Give me, who do you got tonight? Who do you think is going to put that car in victory lane and kiss the virtual bricks tonight, the Brickyard?
Oh man, you put me on the spot. I'm gonna go with the 37 car of Brian Conklin.
Brian Conklin, he's shown some speed. One of the guys who raced last week with us at Pocono for sure. He can definitely be a threat. I think the easy choice would be to go with that 48 of Tyler Marble. I know he's fast, but there's one name that just pops out to me tonight, and it's that 6 car, Daniel Bowdler. I think he is going to have a lot to say about who wins this race. Him and Tanner Kalin, I think those two guys are going to be there at the end. However, because we're picking one, I'm going to go with Daniel Bowdler in that number 6 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 1LE. And, we're getting ready to grid. 30 seconds before these guys hit the grid. I can't wait. I'm excited for this one. I'm excited to see what the racing looks like with this high downforce, low horsepower package. Obviously, the massive spoilers in the back. Cars you can see grouped up, bunched up racing. But at the same time, you can see these guys get spread out, depending on got the fastest car and who's set up the best. So, opportunity for 2, 3, maybe even 4 wide racing on these long straightaways. Although if they get that, that racy, I think they're gonna have to sort it out long before they get down into these tight corners.
Oh yeah, for sure. We saw that last week at Pocono in our race Friday night. It was, oh man. Hopefully they put on a show like that, because I love being in the car. That was fun.
And you see, we have got the qualifying results. They are in. Doubled them up. Starting on the pole tonight, going to be nobody, because this thing to cooperate with. Oh, the joys of technology.
The pole is Jeffrey Marble.
There you go. You take us through the grid.
And second place is Daniel Bowder. And third place is Brian Coughlin. Fourth is Thomas Rufford. Fifth is J.R. Hager. Sixth is Daniel Dow. Seventh is in the 5-car Brandon Browning. And eighth is Justin Belmont. Ninth in the 48 car is that Tyler Marble, who embarrassed everybody last week in our Cup Series. Starting in 9th, starting in 10th, sorry, is Nick Ramsey. 11th is Jeremy Morrison. 12th is Tanner Kalin. And in 13th is Peyton. I'm not even going to try to do that.
He told me how to pronounce it. I think this is his first time joining us this week. He told me how to pronounce it. I'm about to go find it. And you guys see Timothy Latham on the grid. He is going to be race control tonight, so he admin the qualifier series. And Tanner actually posted in the Discord that he is having connection issues, so check up on that and see if that's still the case for him. He is, as of right now, at least he showed on grid. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's gonna make grid, so unfortunately Eaton made his debut again. So unfortunate to see that, of course, is we definitely want to see all these guys get to race, battle it out. But Eaton hopefully will be with us next week. We've got Steven Wilkerson in chat. He said number 4. Let's do this. He's pulling for Thomas Rutherford in that number 4 Chevy Camaro. We'll see if Thomas can make Steven proud. I know who Steven's going with.
Oh yeah, for sure. And just to comment on that,
Yeah, it's never fun, and as much of a sim as it is, something that guys don't really have to deal with in real life is having connection issues. But we've seen it before, guys in real life having issues with, we saw Denny Hamlin have ballast come out of the car, so I guess that could be the simulation for that. So We're just acting like Tanner had some ballast come out of the car, and then, or I'm sorry, Keaton had some ballast come out of the car. Make it happen. Keep it a simulator.
Yeah, there we go. That sounds more real life than a simulator, so we'll go with that.
Here we go, the pace car going to take the dive off of the racetrack onto pit road. The field belongs to Jeffrey Marble. He is waiting, looks like he's going to wait on the green flag. The green flag is out for Jeffrey Marble. He's going to come across that brick start finish line, and he's going to jump to the outside and try to cover up that lane there. Oh, we got trouble already. That's the 6 car contact with him and Brian Conklin. They hold on to it. How did they hold on to that? Wow, let's check out the replay of this and see what happened to that 6. Yeah, he just kind of came down onto him, and then yeah, finally get finished off there through the grass. Unfortunate for that number 6 machine.
You hate to see that first turn on the first lap. That's why we're out here racing. Things like that happen, and we just gotta keep on digging.
Yeah, you're right, and anything can happen on these starts and these restarts when the field is completely bunched up. But let me tell you who's not bunched up right now is that 51 car, Jeffrey Marble. He has opened up a gap on this field already. Trailing behind him is J.R. Hager in that number 2 machine. Got his 4th of July Brad Keselowski-esque paint scheme on that number 2 Miller Lite Ford Mustang. Gonna try to see if he can't hunt down the leader, Jeffrey Marble. He is going to come tick off lap number 2. You see Brian Conklin, a little bit of damage on the front of that car, but this field has gotten single filed out. Typically, you see that happen when there's early contact, early issues. These guys may calm it down just a little bit. Just swim right past you. Yeah, and these guys they got 3 sets on the box, so they've got 4 sets total. I think that should be plenty. That gives them 15 laps per set. I think you can be pretty aggressive with that. But like you said, just because if this thing goes green the whole way, just because you've got 3 sets doesn't mean you have to use them all. Short pitting can help you, but if you have to pit more times than somebody else, chances are it's not out in your favor. So be interesting to see what strategy you guys play.
That number 2, that AJ Hogger, he clipped a second off that last lap. So he is coming after that 51 car, Jeffrey Marble. So it's going to be interesting to see here if he can get up to him, make that pass, and take over that lead board. Maybe he's been using stuff up and he doesn't have it. We'll find out here in a couple laps.
Yeah, and JR definitely has some speed here, and he can may be able to make something happen, as they tick off these laps. But like you said, you're gonna get there and get all the way up and maybe even get around Jeffrey Marble, but he's kind of out of tires. It'll be interesting to see what happens and how this plays out. One of the many storylines that we'll see kind of throughout this race.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I just was scanning through the rest of the field. Everybody's single file right now. It looks like they're just feeling the pros out, seeing how it's going to do in the back. And these 2 guys here, they have just blown these guys out. I mean, you're talking first and second are separated by 0.468, and then you go back to third, it's at 4.231 seconds. So these 2 guys right here they're gone. They're like a shovel.
Absolutely. But look, I've got the lap times pulled up. We've clicked off 5 laps already, and J.R. Hager was cutting into that really half a second almost at a time for a couple laps, and then down to about a quarter of a second. But that last lap, lap number 5, Jeffrey Marble was almost 2/10 quicker than he was. I will add, though, only one person has reached 200 miles an hour in this race. That was J.R. Hager's top speed is exactly 200. The next closest to him is 195 for Jeffrey Marble and Brandon Browning. So that's something I'm also keeping an eye on here. We'll get those lap times as they come across the screen, and they were pretty much dead even, 1/1000th of a second between the two that time.
Yeah, and a lot of that, you talk about the speed. A lot of that has to do with the draft. You wouldn't think, Indianapolis, you wouldn't talk about the draft. Indy cars. But you get on the front back straightaway here in Indianapolis. These cars are doing so much draft. It's like Daytona or Talladega on those front and back straightaways. These turns, back it off a little bit earlier, you get that run coming out of the turn, and that speed that you carry on catch that car. It's going to help you get to them either before entry or back it off early and get that run coming out. I think that's going to be the best place to get somebody on the path.
Yeah, you're right. In one place that I've seen you can make up. Whoa, that was almost big trouble there. Looked like the 12 of Justin Belmont had a big moment. Might have caught a little bit of the wall there out of turn 1. And I was just going to point that out. You can make up a lot of time in those little short shoot straightaways, depending on how much speed you carry through the first turn. But as we saw right there, Justin Belmont had that moment and caught the wall. And not only is that a problem for the guy who hits the wall, but if you're behind that guy and he hits that wall, obviously it's going to absolutely kill his momentum. If you don't have anywhere to go, you're kind of stuck, and you may wind up with a nose full of bumper, unfortunately, which we know in these cars absolutely hurt the performance of the car. But I am
you got two options when it comes to that. You either back off or go down on that slow, or just stay on it and get in their bumper, and ultimately, you're going to have to come down pit road. You're going to get overheated real quick.
Yeah, and that's why you see a lot of times at short tracks, especially, guys will try to get that car set up for as little tape as they can stand on the grill, just in case if they do smush that front nose in and cause damage to that radiator. So they've got those extra temps to kind of keep them afloat. But I've been watching this lap time difference here between Jeffrey Marble and J.R. Hager, and this is what you were alluding to, Dennis. He got all the way up there. He had nothing left for him once he got there, and now he has fallen off almost 2.5 seconds off the pace to Jeffrey Marble. And as a matter of fact, he is getting hunted down by Nick Ramsey in that 34 car.
Yeah, and when you got those feel goods on your tire, you think you're the Hulk. You go out there and you conquer everything out there, and after about 3-4 laps, you realize, oh no, I am not. I overdrove my car way too much, and as you see here now, he's losing ground on Marble, and Nick Ramsey is coming up on his tail real quick.
Yeah, and that's funny you say that, the feel good. You jump. Oh, he just caught the wall right there. He is definitely getting tight. Might have some damage on the right side of that car. It looks like on the right rear quarter panel.
And that's just going to make him tighter.
Yep, absolutely. You said, going back to what I was touching on, you said feel good. You were in the booth with Joshua Medlock, who calls the Cup Series races 2 weeks ago, right? Or was it last week? Or I think it was the week before last. Chicago?
Yeah, it was Chicagoland.
Yeah, and obviously it's when you get to go up in the booth, it's fun to an extent, but at the same time it also means you're out of the race. But Guys, you called them feel goods, and I think Josh says, yeah, I think he's got on his car, he's got felt goods. So that may be kind of what J.R. Hager is dealing with right now. We're about to have an absolute battle for second, maybe not involving J.R. Hager, as I don't think he's going to have a whole lot to fight off Nick Ramsey. However, I'm looking at Thomas Rutherford and Tyler Marble as they're trying to hunt that battle down as well. So, kind of, talking about strategy, obviously Jeff Marble is on a completely different planet than these guys. But, some things that they can do to try to maybe make up that ground under green. Obviously, I think the best thing you can do is you don't want to be, if you're trying to hunt down the leader like Nick Ramsey and Tyler Marble are right now, and maybe J.R. Hager can employ this strategy as well. You want to be one of the first cars, if not the first car to pit road. Maybe you pit early. Maybe you kind of, if I'm running, if I'm one of these guys like Jeremy Morrison or Tanner Kalen running 8th, 9th, 8 seconds off the pace, I'm maybe considering pitting right here in the next couple of laps. Maybe it's 3-4 laps sooner than our leader Jeff Marble, but you look at Jeff Marble's best lap, it was a 51.34. His last lap was a 53.75. So if he stays out, 2-3 laps longer, that's essentially 4 to 6 seconds you're picking up on him. Obviously, you're going to lose that time on the back end of the run, but maybe you get a caution. There's all kinds of things that happen, but I think staying on the same strategy as a guy who's 5 seconds ahead of the field is definitely not the way to beat him. Yeah, because
here in Indy, it's not a big problem if you won't go a lap down if you go down pit road.
Well, yeah, and so last night, I know in the NIS Open, I ran anything within about 15 seconds of the lead, and we're usually pretty good for holding on to the lead lap. So maybe I think everybody right now could pit and be okay as long as they don't have any mistakes. But at the same time, if you get that caution, then you're on 1, 2, 3 lap older tires than the leaders, and you're out in front of them. So then that's when you start running into kind of hairy situations on the restarts. That when you got a lead like 5 seconds, he does right now. You get sideways, you get a little squirrely. Kind of gotta remind yourself, hey, I'm way out here. I need to ease up a little bit. No need to push. As we see, Tyler Marble is going to take over second place from Nick Ramsey, and those guys are our biggest movers tonight. Tyler Marble's picked up 7 spots. Nick Ramsey has picked up 8 in his number 34 Toyota.
Come down pit road, because once those two come down pit road, that's going to dictate when everybody else behind them comes down pit road, as well as Jeffrey too. He's 5 seconds ahead of everybody right now. Well, now it's down to 4.6. So Tyler is gaining up on his dad there, a little bit at a time. So it's going to be interesting to see here in about 2 or 3 laps where that gap is at here.
Yeah, and Brandon Browning had a moment. I'm not sure exactly what happened to his number 5 machine, but definitely had a big moment as he is on pit road right now getting service, and he's been there for a while. Um, yeah, well, he's been on pit road for almost a minute and a half, so not sure what happened. Heavy damage to that number 5 car, but it continues to be Jeff Marble showing the way around the Brickyard, and he is looking for back-to-back wins here in the iRacing Virtual Cup Series qualifier. We have got a battle going on here for the 5th position between Jeremy Morrison in the 75 and Daniel Dow in the 21, and insert Justin Belmont into that conversation as he wants to get a spot from these guys as well.
Yeah, and I just went back to Brandon Browning. He got through the wall coming out of fourth down. So yeah, he's got some damage.
No barrels at the end of this pit wall, so something tells me they will have barrels there this weekend in real life. I would hope so.
Yeah, I would hope so, because that wall is that's not forgiving.
Definitely no safer barrier there. Although I don't think even if it was a safer barrier, if it hit it at any angle, that would be a wonderful hit. And honestly, talking about safer barriers, and NASCAR, of course, has done a great job in making the sport as safe as it is. But you look at, coming off of, this kind of affects the simulation side of things, but you watch these guys when they come off of these corners, there's safer barrier ends pretty early. And we're going to have a side-by-side battle here once again for position. But, yeah, if you push up tight there and smack one of those concrete walls, it does a whole lot more damage than those softer, more absorbing, safer barriers. As we see the 21 of Daniel Dow losing 2 spots to Jeremy Morrison and Justin Belmont. And J.R. Hager hit the pit lane. He is getting service to that Miller Lite for. Maybe I wonder if he's going to try to get this damage fixed. It looks like he is. Maybe not. They're jacking up the left sides here. We'll see what he does. They get ready. He gets ready to pull off of pit road. You saw Jeffrey Marble just go by, and that's gonna cost him a lap to the leader there. And it looks like Brandon Browning is not sure if he's still getting damage fixed, or they are planning on taking that car behind the garage. But he has just informed me that if I want to pull him up, I can. So do that. Let's get a shot with Browning, see if we can get him up at the booth. Hey Brandon, you got a copy? Brandon Browning, you got a copy? Hey man, obviously not the way you wanted your night to go here in Indianapolis. Talk to us, what happened to you?
We started, and right off the rip in turn 1, I think Conklin and my teammate Bowler got together. And as soon as they got together, I kind of took the access road. It threw me way behind, threw me out of my rhythm, and just tried to gather it back up, fall in line, trying to drive back up to the field. Killed the wall. More of the same, all the way down to the point where I killed the wall off of 4 and ate the inside wall. Felt like we had a good car that we could run all the way down to the into the dirt, into the dirt.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for sure. We were talking about how not soft that pit road wall is, that inside wall on the front straightaway. So it's easy to get tight and push up into these outside walls. Like we have already spoken about in this during this race, how bad that can hurt the car. So definitely unfortunate to see you having the trouble that you're having, as we have got pit road just got incredibly busy, as we've got 4 guys on pit road. That's Thomas Rutherford, Justin Belmont, Tanner Kalin, and Daniel Dow all in to get service for their machines. And Brandon, fortunate for you tonight, buddy. Hate it for you. Looking forward to seeing you get a good run in one of these things. But tomorrow night we'll be in the booth, yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I'll be up there joining Josh Medlock. I think back to your point before the green flag pit stops. The biggest thing is the caution, if you come up before you have some severe braking and get into that wall, man, you don't have enough front brake to even that front end out. Mashing the brakes only makes it worse, I guess.
Yeah, that once it's gone, unfortunately.
I guess we'll kick back for the rest of this one and watch the SRN teammates see what they can do. Maybe run up there and play spoilers for some of these guys.
Possibly. I know these guys they took the early. They've been listening to me. I'm crew chiefing and I'm broadcasting. They took the early pit stop strategy, but I imagine that tells me that Jeff Marble may be just trying to split this thing in half. But yeah, Brandon, hate it for you, buddy. But we'll be looking forward to hearing you in the booth tomorrow night with Joshua Medlock on Max Speed TV for the iRacing Virtual Cup Series race right here in Indianapolis. But I'm gonna drag you back down to your teammates, buddy, and good luck to SRN Speed Racing Network and put something together. All right, we've got him, his teammates, and maybe I was a little off here on the strategy call for Jeff Marble and Tyler Marble. I can't imagine that staying out that long is going to benefit them if they're not going to make this thing a one-stop race. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't foresee it. It's going to hurt both of them because once they do come down and make their pit stop, they are. I don't think Jeffrey's going to be in the lead here once he decides to come down there.
Well, they're on pit road.
Whenever he decides.
He's on pit road right now, so maybe you might not be live here on your your thing. Yeah, he is exiting pit road, and Tyler Marble as well. You look, Nick Ramsey is going to cycle out to the lead here, just like I expected. That's a way to pick up time. You're going to see Nick Ramsey. He is going to go around that 51 car, inherit the lead, but Nick Ramsey, he took his stop on lap 20, so he's on 3 lap older tires. Obviously, he's going to want to try his best to maintain that gap, but that could prove difficult as we see J.R. Hager now coming up on the bumper of Tyler Marble, and we know J.R. has some speed on the short run, so I wonder if maybe he can get up here. I know he's got some damage to that Mustang, but if he can fight through it, and I know he has speed, and if we get a short run late, he may have something to say about this, as he's looks like he's going to cycle back out to the 4th position. It is Nick Ramsey right now in that number 34 Toyota Camry who has taken the lead from Jeffrey Marble, and he was a hair better on pit road than Jeff Marble by about 8/100ths of a second, but right now he is stretching that lead. He's got it up to 2.1 seconds.
Yeah, but Jeffrey got those 3-lap newer tires, so you give it about here 4 or 5 laps, and we're going to see if Nick has the longer run car or if Jeffrey starts hunting down here.
Yeah, and I've right now I've got pulled up the stint length for everybody here for their pit strategy, and the Nick Ramsey, he was not quite the first. J.R. Hager was the first, although he had that damage. I believe he got some of that fixed, but among the guys who are not damaged, have good cars underneath them, he was the first one on pit road, lap 20. But like we said, he's lap older tires than everybody else. Listen, may be starting to come into play here as pull up the lap times, and the Jeffrey Marble was about 1/10 and a half quicker that last lap.
It was just a hair over 2 seconds of a lead last lap, and now it's down to 1.899. It's going to be interesting to see what it's down to here as they cross the start-finish line.
It's going to be about 1.5 seconds, so it's like pick up almost 4/10 here. But yeah, 0.398 there, so Jeff Marble definitely ticking these things off.
Yeah, and that's a good pace. I mean, he's not overdriving the car. He's easing his way through the turns and getting that turn out of the turns, and that's where you pick up a lot of your time. Take it easy going in.
Well, here's what I'm thinking as far as strategy goes. Look at the Obviously, the 51 of Jeff Marble is faster than the 34 of Nick Ramsey. We're on lap 27 of 60, about to come to 28, so creeping up on halfway. If everybody is going to two-stop this, if Nick Ramsey comes in 3 laps sooner than Jeffrey Marble, if he comes in on, say, lap, maybe 45 or so, and say Jeff Marble doesn't come in until 47 or 48, could see Nick Ramsey, fend off Jeff Marble. But that's yet to be seen, as Jeff Marble now has this thing under 1 second. Head back up there as we've got a battle cooking up for the lead.
We also got another guy, number 48, is that Tyler Marble. He's creeping up on both Nick Ramsey and Jeffrey Marble. So we could potentially have a three-way battle here very shortly on these top 3 guys.
Yeah, and you see, as fast as Jeff Marble has been coming up on Nick Ramsey, Tyler Marble has been just about matching him lap for lap, although that last lap, that one right there belonged to Tyler Marble, and the lap before that belonged to Jeff Marble, so maybe just kind of maintaining that gap right now. But this battle for the lead is heating up, and heating up quick. As
he's probably going to have him coming out.
Yep, and where these old tires hurt you the most is this corner right here after the big long straightaway, and you got to get that car loaded up. You've got to get it rotated. Obviously, a little bit hairy there, as Jeff Marble maybe he's showing he wants that lead, and interested to see how hard Nick Ramsey fights him for it, just because he knows he's on older tires, and he knows Jeff Marble has cut that lead from 2 seconds all the way down to what it is now in just a matter of a few laps. But
yeah, 171 now.
They still try to fight him here, though. We'll see.
Oh yeah, I've seen some block out of turn 2. Oh no, he didn't get that run.
Yeah, it looks like Jeff Marble kind of went a little wide there in those last 2 corners, and that kind of killed his momentum there. Yeah, momentum is everything for sure with this package that racing on the Cup cars is. Nick Ramsey is going to come to the halfway point in the race. Dennis, just in case if we don't get a caution tonight, let's go on board with Jeffrey Marble. We're going to mute our mics and we're just going to listen to the sounds of this battle. We are back, and you guys got to really enjoy some awesome shots of what was a 3-car battle for the lead has now turned into a 2-car family affair between Jeffrey Marble and Tyler Marble, winner of the last 2 iRacing virtual races. Obviously, Tyler Marble winning the last week's Cup Series race at Pocono, finishing in the top 5 in the Qualifier Series, and then Jeffrey Marble won last week's Qualifier Series race. So, rubber match between these two. And see, Nick Ramsey is falling off, and if I was Nick Ramsey right now, you know, with you got 35 to go coming up on. Sorry. Now you've got 35 to go. Got 35 to go here. When you come up on halfway, you know, if I'm Nick Ramsey, or if you're Nick Ramsey, Dennis, what are you thinking? What's your strategy?
My strategy is going to be I'm going to have to get here soon. But when I do make my pit stop, I'm going to want to make a major adjustment. I want that car to slow down. That way it starts tightening up after it's on versus what appears to be what's going on with the car. It started off feeling good, not too loose, not too tight. But as the run goes on, really tight. He's having to back off that turn a lot sooner than he wants to. He's not getting run off. Jeffrey and Tyler are getting right now, and it's showing because these 2 guys right here are just going at it.
Well, if you loosen it up too much, burn up that right rear tire, and then that car's just going to continue to get looser and looser as the run goes on. You got to be careful with that adjustment. And, you say a major adjustment. I think if I'm sitting in 3rd place, you wouldn't be wanting to make a big adjustment, right? You're having a good run.
When it comes to the win, you're willing to do anything to get that win.
That's true, absolutely. You see guys fight for it. You know, you kind of look back, and you kind of like a Jimmy Johnson scenario at the Roval. You kind of go, well, you had to do was sit there, and you'd have been fine. And you, as a racer, when you're out here on track and you're battling it out, there's nothing you think about more than a win, especially if you can see it out of your windshield. But right now, Nick Ramsey is probably looking in the mirror a whole lot, as he is about to have, you know, with the pace everything's going, he could see Jeremy Morrison creep up on him soon enough. Jeremy Morrison, of course, he's got at least one eye in that mirror. He's got Tanner Kalin bigger in his mirror. Starting to see the battles develop here as these tires wear off.
Yeah, and speaking of battles, if I'm Jeffrey, I'm sitting back there. I know that's my son behind me, but if we're at the end of the race and he's on my back bumper, I mean, I know he's gonna wreck me for a Klondike car, so I gotta keep my distance away from that person. I know he is hungry. He wants more wins.
Well, and I watch Jeffrey Marble streams every now and then, and know I was watching him. He was racing with Tyler, was also in the race, and made the comment. He said, "Here, Tyler yelling, so something happened." So I take it they race in the same house. So if that's the case, that's got to be a pretty tense household if something happens between these two. Now me personally, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'd rate my mother to win one of these things, but hey, also probably wouldn't have to, I probably also wouldn't be racing with my mother, nor would I be racing with her in the same domain. But that's got to be really cool. I think it would be so much fun to be able to race with, or as my son grows up to get to race with him. That's awesome. But man, that's got to be really neat. And, you got to wonder if Tyler Marble is maybe a little reserved than he would be with other people, knowing that that's his old man in front of him.
Well, I wouldn't say he's reserved right now, because we still got a long way to go. But I will say that this is a dream come true in a virtual world for these two guys. Father and son out here racing 1 and 2. There's no better feeling in the world last lap, all bets are off. If there's a bumper, Tyler's going to give that bumper to his dad. It's the same thing senior and junior back when junior came up. Senior had no problem giving his son a little bumper. Yeah, you might be up and coming, but I'm still here, bud.
Well, I think we all know Senior definitely didn't have any trouble giving anybody the bumper. But, yeah, absolutely, man. That's got to be really cool. You know, something to enjoy. But right now, I'm sure elbows are out, and like you said, all bets are off. You know, as these laps wind down, as we're coming up on 20 to go. But I've been watching the timing here, and pit road's starting to get busy now. Is the Nick Ramsey. So this is what I was talking about. Now he's pitted with 20 to go. Kind of in that window now. You know, I think see these tires fall off. But remember last time he pitted 20 laps into a run, and we saw the Marbles pit 23 laps into a run. And remember, Nick Ramsey cycled back out in front. So if that same thing happens, obviously, you know, Jeffrey and Tyler both caught him and got the spot from them, from him. Just trying to get a little draft there. Well before 20 laps. So if the same thing happens here and they cycle out the same way, you know, I think Nick Ramsey is going to have to hope for a pit road mistake by these two if he wants to hold on to the lead. But nonetheless, he's giving himself a chance.
Yeah, he is giving himself a chance, and I think what's going to happen if everything cycles out and there's a late race caution. I think that's the strategy he's going on. Once everything cycles through, that means he's going to be a sitting duck. And blocks he wants, but it's the only way to get around.
Yeah, and you know, we talk about this package a lot, high downforce, low horsepower. And what that, you know, to anybody watching at home, maybe isn't on iRacing, and, you know, even though it's in a virtual sense and a simulator, you can, if you ever load in to one of the new Cup cars with this package, and then go load into like the 2013 package, I mean, the differences are just so obvious. They just jump out of the screen on you, because the older Cup cars are just a handful, and there just feels like there's no grip in them. So if we get a 3-4 lap run, I think everybody's kind of on a level playing field, really. You know, really the only person who's going to have an advantage is the guy who restarts first, because he'll be able to get a jump. But with the big spoilers and the massive hole that they punch in the air, I think that, you know, you'll see these guys get a run and be able to keep it close. We saw Jeff Marble pull away early on, but if you remember, a lot of that had to do with the contact between Brian Conklin in that 31 car and the 37 car and the 6 car of Daniel Bowdler. So we see Tyler Marble with a challenge for the lead, and he got really loose underneath Jeff. Maybe these guys are getting ready to pit. They are. That's what I thought. I figured if they were pushing there, it would be to get ready to come down pit road with 17 laps to go, and that means that this should cycle to Kalen. How the blimp can. We haven't broken this thing out yet. You see Tanner Kalen. I meant Nick Ramsey, as he heads down the back straightaway, and the Marble guys are on pit road. So
Yeah, they're just now in their pit stall, so he's coming in free right now. Right back up. It's going to be close.
well, I think no doubt he's going to cycle back out to the lead here. My thing is, you know, he cycled out to about a 3-second lead last time, and it took about 11 laps for Jeff Marble to get around him. If he cycles out a bigger lead, it could take a little bit longer.
Just across the start-finish lane, Tyler's coming out of pit road.
Yeah, he came out well ahead of Jeff Marble. You can see it there as he just went around the 48 of Tyler Marble. And we'll see what this gap winds up being exactly.
Oh, that's going to be at least a second.
It's coming up on 3 seconds, 2.8 now.
Wow.
But I look at what happened here for Jeff Marble is he had, I don't know if he had trouble getting off of pit road. Let's go check it out on the replay here. You see him coming into his box. Let's see exactly what happened. See the left sides go up. You see Tyler leaving his box. I wonder if maybe Jeff just got in a little bit more conservatively. That's what it appears, that maybe Jeff wanted to make sure that he did not make a mistake there. But see that gap now, 2.49 seconds between the two. In the last lap for Nick Ramsey was a 51.56. Tyler Marble's best lap is a 51.16. We'll have to wait until they come across the line here to see exactly how much faster Tyler Marble is, as we have now come at a 14 lap to go. Yep, and that's part of the strategy deal. You know, anytime you've got two guys, you know, on different strategies, you see that a lot. Guys, you know, really trying to, you know, they're trying to make up time with those short pits, but we've got the live gap here, and it is falling away very quickly now, all the way down to 1.25 seconds. But here's what I wonder. Obviously, Tyler Marble just ran his fastest lap of the race at 51. He's clearly light years faster than Nick Ramsey in that 34, but I wonder how hard Tyler Marble is trying to run that car. You know, he's pulling away from Jeff Marble, and maybe Jeff Marble saving his stuff, expecting Tyler to overdrive just a little bit.
I don't know. I think Tyler's been doing that strategy all race long. He's been, you know, I want to see how my car does in the pack. I want to see how my car does by itself. And now I got one car ahead of me. I got the field goods right now. So I want to go up. I want to get that guy. Because behind me. So I think I'm going to feel pretty good once I get around.
Well, let me tell you something. The last lap for Tyler Marble was the fastest lap of the race, and the only lap that was under 51 seconds. He ran 50.73. I'm sorry, correction. Only one other lap that ran under 51 seconds, and that was J.R. Hager, who ran a 50.79 earlier in the race, and he is all over the back bumper of Nick Ramsey now. And I'm not sure Nick Ramsey is going to be able to do a whole lot about this. He's pretty much just going to have to let this happen.
Yeah, he's just sitting there like, yeah, I want to defend this, but I don't think I'm going to have a shot to.
I think it's one of those situations where you know you've got him in the dirty air. You know he's driven a car hard to get to you. You know, you race him hard here. Maybe hold him up just a little bit. Maybe that allows Jeff Marble to run it down. And you see the big block. Yep. Oh, man, this is going to be a hairy. All this is holding up Tyler Marble, which could allow Jeffrey Marble to get back in this. Jeffrey Marble was 5 seconds behind Tyler the last time they came across the stripe. That time, 3.7 seconds. So this right here, at the very least, in a way that is going to benefit Nick Ramsey, is it could make this thing a three-car battle, and we know anything can happen, and you get three cars battling it out. Tyler Marble came across the stripe on that last lap at 201 hour. Watching Jeff Marble, he's stalking. He's like a shark in the water. He smells blood, and he sees Tyler Marble being held up by Nick Ramsey. And, you know, on the flip side of that conversation, Tyler Marble sees that in his mirror. He sees his dad getting bigger mirror, so he's thinking, I've got to get around him. I've got to go. Be interesting to see if we see anything aggressive. Oh, man.
Oh, it's starting to. It's coming out. He's like, I know I'm fast, and if you let me die.
Yep, and man, what I would pay to be able to hear race chat right now, you have to imagine Tyler Marble is pleading with the 34, saying, look, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. I've got to go. We've got another one coming up on us now. So, see what happens.
If I was Tyler right now, nope, there he goes. There he goes.
Nope, and Nick Ramsey holding him off, and now we've got Jeffrey Marble is now pretty much quickly going to become a part of this battle, the way this is going. And even if he is able to go around him right here, maybe, no, Nick Ramsey's going to hold him off for another lap. You know, even if say Tyler Marble gets around him right here, you got to think he definitely used up maybe more of his tires than he probably wanted to. So I think Jeff Marble right now could be in the catbird seat right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. And you know, I think that goes back to letting off early. You get those runs coming out of the turn. I don't think Tyler's doing that right now. Going in the turn and coming out the turn, which I mean you can't get that on the fresh tires, but you beat those up.
I have to say this, and I know if anybody who's ever been in Tyler Marble's shoes right now, you're fast enough guy, and you're thinking, come on man, just let me by, You're racing, and when there's 8 laps to go, like there is right now, you don't care how long you've been on those tires, you don't care how long the guy behind you has been on those tires, you're going to do everything you possibly can to hold him back, and I am very, very impressed, 34 Nick Ramsey, how well he has done keeping Tyler Marble at bay. But now it is about to be a 3-car battle, and I have to say,
He's gonna have to start driving with two sides of it here, because here comes Jeffrey. He's coming up very quickly on both these guys. 4 seconds down to just about nothing.
yep, and like we said, but here's the thing: if these two guys get side by side behind them, obviously I think Nick Ramsey will try to guard the inside like you see him doing now. But those tires are old, and they're gonna make it. It's gonna be tight. Yep. Jeff Marble came over there and pushed Tyler Marble right on around him, and Nick Ramsey didn't have a whole lot to say, but he's gonna try to fight back on the outside here. He was able to arc the corner a little bit better than Tyler Marble, and he might clear these guys. He is. Are you kidding me?
Wow, that is very impressive there by AJ.
That's Nick. That's Nick Ramsey. That's Nick Ramsey in the 34. JR, you're thinking about JR in the 2. Yeah, that's Nick Ramsey in the 34.
I switched my camera.
Um,
Yeah, man, Nick. Oh man, that was very impressive by him coming out of that turn, just keeping that overpowering those guys with the front.
and he kind of just pinned them down there, and that allowed him to arc it a little bit better than what Tyler Marble was able to do. Oh, that's gonna get tight. And oh man, this is when it. Oh, he turned. Oh, they made contact. What a save! What a save! But Tyler Marble is going to go. He's going to drive away now, I have to imagine. Wow.
That's one of those. I've been back here for about 5-6 laps.
Yeah, I think that was a, hey, look, I'm there. So, do with that information what you will. And, and Nick Ramsey, he tried to hold him off again, but it was just not that time. As you see, Tyler Marble get really loose off the turn 4, and now these two guys are going to be side by side. And if they get to battling side by side, Nick Ramsey's going to be able to hang in there here. But you see, Tyler Marble let him go, though. I'm not surprised to see that. Maybe he's thinking long ball here, doesn't want to be side by side and let Nick Ramsey get up there and return the favor to him. And I'm not sure that you could really even pin that on, one of the other, Tyler Marble or Nick Ramsey. That's just hard racing. And
Oh yeah, it's the end of the race. You got to go. I mean, you got to defend your spot. You want that spot. Great racing by both of them. Great save by the 34 there of Nick Ramsey.
yep, and I have to think that Jeff Marble, like I said, in the catbird seat, he should have a little bit better tires than Tyler, but Tyler is still giving him everything he's got. We saw these two guys run this 1-2 situation on the last green flag run, on the last run before the pit stops. Gotta wonder if maybe Tyler wasn't able to get around him, or if he didn't try too hard to get around him. Interesting here. They battle it out with 4 laps to go.
I will say now, this is different from what it was before they made the rules like this. Dad's in front, this and that. If it's the last lap and you're right there on your dad's bumper, I was gonna give Jeffrey the good old bumper there. That Camaro is gonna hit that Ford Mustang. Scooch out of the way there, buddy. Let me get this victory here.
Absolutely, you see, I mean, he's pushing them down the front straightaway, and he pushes them a little deeper into that corner than what Jeffrey Marble wants to go. That could open the door for Tyler, but 3 laps to go, and there's obviously the wild card, the possibility of a caution, which I know Nick Ramsey wants to see right now. Jeremy Morrison as well, Tanner Kalin, but nothing's indicated that could happen, and I do think that this right now is the best the best battle that we have on track. Thomas Rutherford is we're not going to cut to it, but Thomas Rutherford is trying to get to Brian Conklin, but I don't think that's going to happen as we come to 2 laps to go, unless somebody makes a solo mistake. This right here could be the race for the win. 2 laps to go here from the Brickyard. Tyler Marble all over the back bumper of Jeff Marble for the lead.
God, props to Tyler. He started out way all the way up to second. He's been in the lead, but most of the last two parts here of the race, he's been kind of cruising. But now it's go time.
He's looking low. He wants to make it happen, and Jeff got loose. Yep. Uh-oh. And that, I think this is going to set up a huge run for Tyler Marble down the front straightaway. Coming to the, whoa, big side. Oh, man. They're going to be side by side. No, looks like Jeff Marble is going to hold him off. White flag. White flag in the air. Tyler Marble trying to make one final push at the lead here, trying to steal the win away from his dad and prevent Jeff Marble from going back to back as they're going to come off of turn 2. And I think right now Tyler Marble is just a little bit too far away from Jeffrey.
If he pushes a little bit more here in 3 and 4, he'll have a run coming out.
Tyler Marble trying to set up the run on exit here. And if Jeff Marble makes a mistake and gets loose again, you have to think maybe Tyler Marble could pounce this time. They're going to come off of turn 4. No mistake by Jeffrey Marble that time. And it is going to be the 51 car Ford Mustang of Jeffrey Marble going to hold off the 48 Camaro of Tyler Marble. Nick Ramsey is going to come across the line in 3rd. Jeremy Morrison looking to go ahead and finish this race 4th place. Tanner Kalin now, he is going to come across the line in 5th, and those are going to be the 5 guys who qualify for tomorrow night's race. And let me tell you, I think both of these Marble guys are going to be a threat tomorrow night without a doubt. Once again, what a race between these two, and not to we can't forget about Nick Ramsey and the battle that he put up against both of these guys. He fought as hard as he could, and can't believe that he held on as long as he did.
Oh yeah, he definitely gave those guys a fight for the lead. And I gotta give props to him. He played his strategy. It didn't work out the way he wanted it to, but he played it. He owned up to it, and he fought every inch of it. So props to Nick.
And he started, in 11th position. So I would say, all in all, not a bad night at all. But the night belongs to Jeff Marble as he gets the win here at the Brickyard. And oh man, we're gonna try to see if these guys are in Discord, and if they are, I want to talk to them. But if not, we can get Nick Ramsey up here for sure and give him a shout out. See, just talk about that finish. Does not look like either of the marbles are in the Discord. We'll see if they pop up. But I do want to get Nick Ramsey, Kalen Racing. Nick, this is Justin and Dennis in the broadcast booth, buddy. You got a copy?
I do.
Man, I absolutely marveled at that performance and the fight that you put up. I am amazed that you were able to hold off Tyler Marble as long as you did. Unfortunately, you guys made contact just from at least in the booth, looked like a racing deal. But just talk about that battle there on that last run.
Yeah, that was a tough one. I was not sure. I didn't think I'd be able to hold on as long as I did, honestly. Their tires were, I think, 5 or 6 laps fresher than mine. But I mean, I was putting up a fight if I could, but no, they were quick tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I was watching. We were talking about strategy. You guys typically get these long green flag runs, and so the strategy comes into play a lot for you guys. But just we're talking about strategy, and I noticed that you pit 3 laps prior to them on the first time and the second time. And it's kind of obviously that helped you make up the time. Like you said, amazed that you were able to hold them off, but. There was one time that you even powered around them. Tyler Marble got on your inside and looked like you were still able to power back around them on the outside. So kudos to you, man. But third place tonight, what's it going to take to pick up 2 more spots and get one of these wins?
I think we're gonna have to nail that strategy a little bit better. Almost made it work tonight, but I think that's how we're gonna have to get them is get these long green flag runs, get them on strategy, put a little bit more time in these cars, and we should be able to get them.
Yeah, and Dennis and I were talking about the package and the high downforce and how a short green flag run, if it's 2-3 laps to the end, can really even the playing field. Were you hoping for a caution there as we got closer to the end?
Absolutely. I think short run, we were a lot closer to their speed than long run. I was absolutely hoping for a caution, get some fresh tires, and see if we could get them like that as well.
Yeah, well, tell you what, man. Like I said, we really enjoyed watching you battle for the lead and for the win. Hate that you guys got into each other. Hope there's no hard feelings there because I tell you from up here, it just looked like hard racing. But we're gonna take you back down to your teammates, buddy. Congratulations on the third place run, and pick up a couple more spots next week.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next
Right.
week.
Well, Dennis, it was a short one. It took an hour and about 5 minutes to run that race as these guys go green flag to checkered flag with no flags in between other than the white flag. Looking forward to tomorrow night's race for us. We'll be on track on Max Speed TV. What did you learn from tonight that maybe you can apply there? And looking forward to tomorrow night. Do you feel like you got some pretty good speed?
Well, I know I have the speed. I don't know. I don't know about long run speed. I think strategy is going to play a big factor in tomorrow night's race after watching tonight. Obviously, you don't want to pit too soon, but you also don't want to pit too late. And after the show these guys put on here tonight, I mean, other than stage cautions, we can't have any. So we got to go out there. We got to perform very well for everybody out there. I know these guys from the top 5 are going to come out and put on a good show for us as well. I'm definitely looking forward to racing with all of them, racing with everybody else in our league too. But I gotta focus on racing the track. I can't focus on racing around other people. You gotta race the track here at Indy.
Yeah, you're right about that. And like you said, these guys are going to show up tomorrow night and definitely put on a good show and give us a tough battle. And very well could see these Marvel guys up there battling once again with the Cup Series guys. And I said it last week on the broadcast when I got pulled up after one of the stages at Pocono. Josh was interviewing me and told him, I said, look, remember the names, Tyler and Jeffrey Marvel. These guys are going to be names to watch out for in the iRacing Virtual Cup Series. And I think week in and week out they continue to show that. But, we see guys like Nick Ramsey, Jeremy Morrison, Tanner Kale, and they rounded out the top 5. They race up front, week in and week out. Brian Conklin, he's teammates with the Marvel guys, So, definitely just got to keep an eye on all of these guys. But before we sign off, I see Jeff Marble has hopped into the race room, so let's drag him up and get a word with our winner, and then off for the night. What's going on, Jeff?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man. Probably not as good as you. Congratulations on the win, back to back.
Thank you. The kid took it easy
Did
on me, so
See, Dennis was in the booth with me tonight. He swore up and down that Tyler would give you the bumper if it came down to it. I didn't think he would.
he only does it if he has to, and that's what happened with the 34.
Yeah, go ahead, Dennis.
I'll give him a Klondike bar next race.
There you go. That battle between those guys was awesome to watch from the booth for sure. But that may have been the game changer for you. I know Tyler definitely got off pit road a little bit better than you did on that final stop. But watching those guys battle it out, I have to imagine you were just kind of licking your chops there.
Yeah, I had it in neutral sitting on pit road, and I was nailing the gas, and I'm like, it's not moving. And then I looked at the gear indicator; it was in neutral.
That's rough. I always make sure I throw mine in neutral when I'm coming, getting into my box as well, so I don't stall it out. But, well, congratulations, man. You went back to back. You going to be with us tomorrow night?
I'm certainly going to try.
Tyler as well?
I believe
might have to
so.
start you guys one lap behind. You guys are feeling all those.
There's some stout guys. There's some stout guys on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Night. I mean, no slight against the guys tonight. I'm just saying.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be. Last week, I thought was. I'm not even gonna say thought. I thought last week's Pocono race, or I'll say last week's Pocono race was the best race as far as competitiveness in the iRacing Cup Series. So, we can attribute that a lot to you guys. I know you had a little incident there at the end of stage 1, unfortunately. So hopefully you have a better night tomorrow night. And Tyler obviously was there all race long, but just wanted to pull you up. I saw you hop in the race room there and say congratulations. Enjoy your win, and maybe see if you can get the first ever weekend sweep tomorrow night.
All right, sounds good. We got a little tweaking to do, but we'll be there tomorrow.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.
Thank you too.
Have a good one. Congrats on your win tonight.
All right, thanks for broadcasting. Appreciate it, guys.
Well, Dennis, that was fun. Enjoyed having.
I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah,
night.
man.
Is it tomorrow already?
Yeah, right. I'm telling you, man. Fridays are always, you kind of always antsy for. Think about it today, and then you get on the grid, and then you're like, God, I hope we don't pile up on lap 1.
Yeah, lap 1, turn 1, please don't pile up.
I think the most disappointing one for me was Homestead. I turned 800 and something lap practice that week, and got caught up in a wreck on turn 3 of lap 1. It happens, part of it. And
yes, that's part of racing. That's why I don't practice anymore, and it's panning out for me.
Well,
so,
hey, as frustrating as it is when you spend time on a setup, there's one good thing to take solace in. The fact it is a simulator, and that means that you don't have to go beat the dents and things out of the car at the body shop.
Very good point. Yeah, because man, we be in a lot of debt.
I'm telling you, I don't think any of these teams would be profitable. But Dennis, I enjoyed having you booth with me tonight, buddy. That was fun. That was an awesome race. We'll look forward to having you back as soon as you can, man.
Oh yeah, it's been a pleasure being up here with you here tonight. definitely looking forward to popping back up in here, if not next week, sometime down the road. It, you know, if I can't be out there racing, I'd rather be out, spectating, broadcasting, just sitting back enjoying the race.
Absolutely, buddy. Well, Dennis, Justin, we're signing off for the night for the iRacing Virtual Cup Series qualifiers. You can check out tomorrow night's Cup Series race on Max Speed TV. Go to your search bar on YouTube as soon as we finish this stream. Type in Max Speed TV. You'll see their logo, MSTV, with like a little blue background. Go ahead and give them a subscribe. Go ahead and turn on post notifications. And then tomorrow night, be looking forward. He'll go live about 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time. His name is Joshua Medlock, and you will know when you have him because he is a character. So be sure to tune in tomorrow night for the Cup Series race at the Brickyard. We're signing off. Thanks for tuning in. Y'all have a good night. All right.